Hello, this is Gary Simon with wisebanner.com, and in this tutorial we're going to take a look at how to adjust the file size output of both static and animated GIFs. So one reason this would be important is, say for example, you're trying to launch an advertising campaign on Google AdWords. Well, currently AdWords accepts a maximum file size of 50 KB. So if WiseBanner exports certain banners, usually the ones that are larger size, like the large square ones, sometimes it can go over 50, and especially with the animated GIFs. So this is just show you some manual ways that, and also automatic, that you can go ahead and try to adjust for the banner size, file sizes, to get underneath that 50 KB or any other file size limits that you may encounter. So the first thing I want to do is we're just going to work with this Cesium banner template right here. And I'll just download this one real quick, both the action and PSD file. And I'll load the action up and also the PSD. Okay, so I'm not going to actually customize this. I just want to get us to the part where we're ready to get everything going. So let me get up actions here and let me adjust it off screen real quick. Okay, so first thing I'm do, I'm just going to run the background replication real quick. Alright, and then I'm going to process the banners just as is, which is the placeholders right here. Okay, so first off, let's focus on the animated GIFs. So let's say, for example, you go to save your animated banners, and once they all save and you go check out their file size in the folder that they're exported to, you'll notice that some perhaps are over that 50 KB limit. Alright, so usually sometimes this can happen with the 336 by 280 banners right here and some of these other bigger ones. So let's assume that happened real quick, and you want to fix that. So within Photoshop, what we could do, if you saved your PSD before exporting the banners, what we would do is run it again. And so we click play, and this time we do not want to close documents after saving. We want to leave them up. So I'm just going to call this banner set test and hit save banners. And it's going through right now. And once it's done, we'll see all of the windows show up here at the top. Okay, so now it's all done, and now we could see that the name of these documents are the actual dimensions. So let's assume that one of the banners you exported was too high in file size, and it would be the 336 by 280. Alright, so one thing that we can do, if we go to File, Save for Web, we'll see that it already has the animation option set, and we could see that it animates once we hit play, and we'll see it tells you the size, 16.46 KB. So let's assume for a second that that was over whatever file size limit we have. Usually, you know, if we're working with AdWords, it would be 50 KB. So let's assume this is like 70 KB or something. Well, up here we have some options that can adjust the file size automatically. So if we make some adjustments, like we changed the colors from 256 down to 128, it slightly adjusts down to 15 KB. We'll see 64 all the way down to 4. That will cut it in half. But of course, if you do that, it will affect the quality quite a bit. You can also play around with all these other options here and just see how it affects the file size, if at all. So that's the first way that you can do it. And then obviously once you save it, or you get under that file size, you can just go ahead and save. And you can do that for the rest of the banners that are over. Another way, if that does not help, another way to do it is go to Window and Timeline. And we'll see here that we have all of our individual frames. Well, if we switch this back and convert it to video timeline by clicking that button right there, and then we click on this option right here, which it's not showing up for you because it's off the screen, but once we click that menu and we go to set timeline frame rate. So if it's at 30 and we drop this down to 15, for example, or even 10, we'll see that it shrinks this up. And if we go to File, Save for Web, well, it didn't adjust it too much. Let me and another thing real quickly, if we take this folder group and drag it down, we can look at the title copy right here. And if we shrink these even more, we can also reduce the file size. So we got it down to 11. So simply changing the timeline frame rate right here down to a lesser number, and also adjusting the amount of animation that there is, we can go ahead and significantly change the file size. So through both the Save for Web options and for the GIF options, and also the manually adjusting these settings, this is how we can get down to the file size that we need to. Okay, so the other way, if we're working with static JPGs and we have some file sizes that are high, another way that we can fix that issue is when we go to Save Banners for JPG up here and hit play, we'll see we have JPG quality. So if you change this down to even from the default 80 down to 48, depending on your specific banners, it may not even create a noticeable loss in graphic quality, but it will affect the file size. So it's just a matter of hitting Save Banners and seeing what the file sizes are until you get the right ones or the right set that you need. And that is it. All right, I will see you next time. All right, bye.